This year, our wrestling has qualified 11 for state tournament. The 2023 Herons Pride Marching Band has had the strongest season to date, earning superior ratings and becoming one of the largest 1A school bands. This past spring, we had our first state champion, boys high jump. He did a phenomenal job only as a sophomore, so looking big things from him this year as a junior. Several years ago, the 2022, our boys tennis team were state runner-ups, and the boys and girls tennis teams have had multiple Final Four appearances for many years. Last year and this year, our girls basketball have been region runner-ups, and our girls basketball team will compete this week as a region runner-up in the regular season going into the tournament play. And last year, our baseball team were region runner-ups as well and made an Elite 8 appearance. Click next slide, Mr. Allen. Our English language arts departments, they have been strong at it this year. We have had several British Lit projects, and our Young George Arthur Awards for 9th grade was Miss Candace Snyder, 10th grade Miss Miley Peterson, 11th grade Miss Taylor Rowland, and 12th grade Miss Mallory Denton. So congratulations to those young ladies and their hard work in the English language arts department. Our math department has been very busy. It's very often if you walk into a math class and they're out of their seats moving, they're moving around, they're in the hallways doing something constructive with their hands, okay? It's not just sitting and listening to the teacher teach. They are actively doing things as partners, and they're doing great things this year. Next slide, please. Now, the same thing goes with our science department. They're always doing labs in our labs. I'm constantly having the custodians go back and clean up after them because they're doing so much in our labs. It's a great problem to have. They have new lab coats this year, and they've been getting after it each and every week. Our social studies department had their reality check in the fall. It's a personal finance simulation for seniors. They go in, and a lot of stakeholders come into the gym, people from the bank, sheriff's office, insurance companies, and these seniors are facing these real-world problems, and they have to budget their money, budget their time, and their finances. It's just real fun to see them do that. Also this summer, we have 13 students going on a Europe trip. They're going to be touring Germany, Australia, Italy, Switzerland, and France. Next slide, please. Next slide, Mr. Allen. Is that it? Okay. That is it. Thank y'all very much.
Any questions for our high school administrators?
Except for when the cupcake
November the 22nd.
That concludes the superintendent's update.
All right, our norms and protocols, every year at the first of the year, we've committed ourselves as a board to We're gonna carry on. Do we have any public participation? Come on up to the thing and tell us who you are and what you're about. If you take too long, we'll let you know.
I'm Jason Lee. I'm representing the Hortense Fire Department. I know I'm wearing a sheriff's office shirt, but I'm here for the fire department of Hortense. I heard Mr. Davis standing at the door saying, I appreciate you to everybody that was leaving, and I appreciate you letting everybody leave before I got up here to talk.
We could have thought about that. We would have.
Bring them back.
No, I'm good. Basically, we're just here again, for the same thing we was here for at the other meeting. We didn't know if we needed to come back today to try and, figure out how we can work this, or if y'all had came to a conclusion, or what. That's why me and my dad, who's the chief, that's why we're here.
I apologize. I was gonna call you this afternoon, but between the visitation at the funeral home and the meeting tonight, I slipped my mind, but, I've got your number. I think we can pick up in a phone conversation where we were.
All right.
As a group, we're right where all we need to talk about now is the specifics of how we're gonna arrive at the goals that we talked about at the meeting the other day.
All right. Sounds good to
And
me.
like I say, I apologize not calling you,
No,
this
that's fine.
afternoon.
It's fine. So I'll be expecting your phone call.
I tell you what. Just to make sure I don't forget you again, or if I do, it'll be your fault too. What's your number?
Don't say it out loud.
No, there's too many,
A lot of
too
viewers.
many news reporters in
I'll
here.
rest of it in.
You know what? Back that up.
Hold
Let
on.
me give you a different one.
How many you got?
I got that.
How far back I gotta go? Past
That
the
one. That's
912?
it. No, that's it.
Okay.
That one I answer every call that calls
My
in.
number will show up on your phone, and it's a 904 area code, so.
Okay.
It ain't the IRS.
All right.
All right, it should be on your phone now. If
All right.
you
Thanks,
don't hear
sir.
from me in the morning, call me.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we did.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
You have to do things like that as you get older. You do it while it's on your mind, then you don't have to worry about forgetting it. Do we have any other public participation? Hearing none.
You ain't excited about it. Do I need to state my name?
Yeah, you do. Please.
My name is Brenda Johns. First of all, I would like to say that presentation of all those kids was wonderful. It really makes me proud to see all the hard work that these students and coaches have done. But I would like to shed light on something that the Exchange Club does. In November, we always have our One Nation Under God. And since I have been the project chairman, I try real hard to include as many kids from the school as what we can to highlight the different programs that they're doing. For the past 2 years, we've had the Culinary Arts Department to prepare our meal, and they have really done a good job. Some of y'all have been there, some of you haven't, but it's been very, very good. In January, we had J.C. Beth Thomas, and I know y'all know who she is, and we packed the house. We honored 20 students that day, but she did the best speech, I believe, that we've ever had that really related to the kids, that what she was and what she has overcome and what she is continuing to do with her life. And she really encouraged these kids. And I think it was wonderful what all she did. We tried to implement this program last year. We've always done the honor top of the honors class for the high school, the seniors. But we tried last year and we couldn't get everything together. But I want to thank Dr. Todd and Mr. Blake Johns for helping me get everything together in a short notice, because I'd had a lot of sickness in my family and wasn't able to do. But they helped me pull it together, and we honored the 20. And that's something we're going to be doing every month And we're trying to get as many in as what we can between now and the end of school, because once summer gets here, you lose them. You can't get them to come back. But I really want the high school to stress to these top 12, please write an essay. And some of y'all's kids are sitting here is involved in that. So please write an essay, because there's a $500 scholarship that we promote for these kids, the one that wins. And then it's sent on to state. And so I would really like for y'all to encourage them as much as possible. And Miss Lori McNeese does a really good job of trying to get the kids to do that.
Is that what qualifies in an essay? Is that
They're in the top, and it's hard to get them to write. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
even did more this year as far as getting more kids involved. We added more, so we would, try to get them to do the essays. But it's a really good thing. But Mr. David talking about the cupcakes, if your birthday's during the summer, how do you get a cupcake?
So the students that have a birthday over the summer or Christmas break, we honor them either the week before or the week after we return. So a June birthday will get honored in May before we let out, and a July birthday will get honored in August when we return.
Good. And also, there was, and I love that they honored all the kids, but Miss Avery Cruz was she went to state in cross country, and we did honor her at our exchange, as well as Peyton Chambliss. He went junior, freshman, and sophomore year. Didn't make it this senior year, but he had an injury. But we recognized them. And another thing, I know the attendance thing's a new policy, and it's trying to build, and believe me, I am a strong believer in attendance. I got 2 youngins that never missed a day of school. Didn't matter. They knew they had to go. They didn't have a choice. But anyway, have you seen an difference in dropout, or maybe dropout's not the right word, but going to a different alternative as far as maybe online or homeschooling? Has that affected with the policy, or have you noticed any of that?
We haven't really tried that. I don't know if we've seen a big difference or big jump one way or the other. But we, that we've tried that specifically, we have not done that.
I was just wondering if there had been any. I keep hearing different ones. I'll say, why aren't you at school? I'll see different ones. Well, I'm doing so-and-so now, and I'm thinking, okay, but I
We
don't,
have some that should do it.
yeah. So I was
All
just
right.
wondering how that was working.
Just to help you close out, this is a good time to mention our 92-point-something graduation rate, I
There you
believe.
go.
And we appreciate what everybody
Yeah.
does.
Hey, I do too, and I was just curious if any had dropped out or went to a different study to do. But I'm proud of all these kids that were here tonight. I think they're doing a great job, and I'm like you, I hope they stick together and bring us home a state championship. Because in basketball, we've only got one, and that gym right over at Hunt is dedicated to us. Thank y'all.
Thank you. All right. Do we have any more public participation? All right, moving right along, adoption of our agenda. Y'all can all see the agenda. Can I get a motion to adopt it?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Got a motion, can I get a second?
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Disposition of minutes from our previous meetings. Can I get a motion to accept them as presented?
I make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Do we have any, got a motion and a second, is there any conversation, discussion? If not, Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Our financial reports. Had a chance to go over them over the weekend. Can I get a motion to accept the financial reports as presented?
I'll make a motion
I get a second?
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike? Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. While we're on this, Ms. Teresa, you want to give a shout out for the SPLOST?
I would
and
love
the
to,
TAF?
thank you. The SPLOST for January locally was $177,683.92, and that is phenomenal. I'm sure some of that was Christmas, but it just shows that our community supported local, whether you were shopping our local boutiques. And if you do any of your ordering online, we get some percentage by the zip code of anywhere in Brantley County, so keep that in mind too. That's just phenomenal. And then the local car tags collected was $66,973.76 for a grand total of $244,657.68. I think I said that right. Anyhow, continue to support local. It does make a difference. Thank you. Thank you.
And on the big picture of those monthly numbers that she reads out, you say, well, how does that affect us overall? Our last SPLOST election was projected to bring in, was it 9 million?
Or
The top was 9 million. I think we might have only set it at 7. We've looked at our numbers last Friday during our work session, and the top side, now I don't know that we'll go this high, but the top side of the projections, if you figure in annual increases, if it continues to grow like it has, would be somewhere around $15 million.
for the
And that's
next
from people
SPLOST.
buying local, our next SPLOST, when we put it up, the way it looks at this time, you know, and, but that's what's helping us build a gym.
Yes.
Pave lots, you know, and parking lots, and educate our children and help them to have the best facilities that they deserve. Our ESSER 3 ARP Parapro budget.
Yes, sir. I recommend to approve the ESSER 3 ARP Parapro to teacher budget as presented.
For the recommendation of the superintendent, can I get a motion?
I make a motion to accept the ESSER 3 Parapro budget as presented.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Got a second, is there any discussion?
Yes, sir. We were excited to learn that the Georgia Department of Education decided to use some of their extra ESSER money to fund or reimburse our parapros that are working on certification. So the parapros working in Brantley County that happen to be going to college to be a teacher, we were able to turn their names in, and they will be reimbursed for their tuition and for some supplies. So that was exciting. It's probably a one-time thing, but still a blessing. So,
Okay, any more discussion, questions? Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes.
I recommend to approve the ESSER 3 ARP LEA original carryover budget as presented.
Okay, we got a recommendation from the superintendent. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion for the ESSER 3 ARP LEA original carryover budget. That's recommended by the superintendent.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Cliff seconds. Any further discussion?
Yes.
I know, any further discussion? I was waiting on the discussion.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So this carryover money, this is an amendment to the original budget. We called it the ESSER 3 or CARES 3 money, and we just had some extra money, so we went in and amended it. It's still going to go towards salaries and instructional supplies.
All right, any further discussion? Ms. Kathy?
Now I can say
Yes. Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes.
I recommend to approve the quote from Apple Store for the purchase of 30 iPads for pre-K classrooms in the amount of $12,420.
We got a recommendation from the superintendent. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion for the 30 iPads for pre-K classroom as presented.
Ms. Kathy, you got a second?
I'll second.
Thought you- Any further discussion?
Yes, sir. This grant, this literacy grant, is broken down to different levels, and there is a level specifically for birth to 5 and pre-K. And Miss Dr. Donna Waters Gibson's here. She's our pre-K director and has worked on this grant with Dr. Haney, and we're proud of that hard work, and we're excited about these 30 iPads that pre-K will be getting.
Thank you. All right, any further discussion? Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes.
I recommend to approve the quote from Frontline Education to continue the contract with them in the amount of $7,866.38.
Can I got a recommendation from the superintendent? Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the Bradley County Nursing Services continued contract with Frontline Education.
We've got a motion. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Got a second. Any further discussion?
Yes, sir, this is a program that our school nurses use for documentation of visits to the clinic, and they've used this program for a couple of years now with success, so this will be a renewal.
Any further discussion? Okay, Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes.
I recommend to approve the quote from Howard Technology for 15 Chromebooks for Air Force Junior JRTC in the amount of $3,939.
Okay, we got a recommendation from our superintendent. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion to approve the 15
Mike.
Chromebooks for the junior RTC program.
Mr. Mike's got a motion. Can I get a second?
I'll second. Miss Kathy may have it.
Ms. Kathy's got a second. Any further discussion?
Yes, sir, this is work that our CTAE director has worked along with Colonel Chapman to prepare this purchase order, and the need will be funded through the vocational instruction funds for the JROTC program.
Any further discussion, questions? Hearing none, Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes.
I recommend to approve the continuance of services with Speech Pathology Associates of Southeast GCPC for the Special Education Department as presented.
We got a recommendation from the superintendent. Who wants to try that motion?
I'll make a motion to continue service with Speech Pathology Associates of Southeast GSPC for Special Education Department.
Say it backwards.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
Yes, sir, this is we were using this partnership for a long-term sub from one of our speech teachers, and we thought that was going to end in December, and we need to use this long-term sub a few more months.
And I will say there are times that making a motion to support the superintendent's recommendation may be sufficient. If they get much longer than that, we can handle that, but if it gets much
What
longer.
he said,
Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes.
I recommend to approve the quote from Mingledorff's for a 15-ton package unit for the Hoboken Elementary School gym in the amount of $21,907.
We got a recommendation. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the,
Proposal?
for 15-ton package unit for HES June.
And can I get a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Cliff's got the second. Any further discussion?
Just going to let y'all know that we're still having a long lead time when we're ordering these units, and the best that our maintenance director could find was 14 weeks on this one, so.
All right, any further discussion? Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes.
I recommend to approve the quote from CDWG for the SmartNet agreement renewal in the amount of $11,336.18.
We got a recommendation from the superintendent. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion to accept the action item of SmartNet agreement renewal.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Kathy's got a second. Any further discussion?
This purchase, as Mr. Allen told us at the work session, will ensure that we have the latest updates for our network switches.
All right, Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes.
I recommend to approve the budget as presented for the upcoming construction projects, including the Brantley County High School project and the paving projects at Hoboken Elementary School, Nahunta Elementary School, and Waynesville Primary School.
Got a recommendation from the superintendent. Can I get a motion?
I'll be more than glad to repeat this one. A budget for the upcoming construction projects, including the Brantley County High School project and the paving projects at HES, NES, and WPS.
You got a motion. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Got a second from Mr. Cliff. Any further discussion?
Yes, sir. I'm excited to report that our architects have been working hard and have the plans really close to being ready to send to the state for a brand-new band room, a brand-new course room, a new gym, new concessions, locker rooms, a new weight training room, a new tennis building, and then in addition, our Mr. Levance and Mr. Craig have been working on the plans for the paving projects that we've tried to do. We actually tried to do 2 of them this past summer and could not get the resources here. But anyway, major paving project at Nahunta Elementary School and Hoboken Elementary School, and then some repair and additional work at Waynesville Primary School.
And how is this gonna be funded?
We are going to be funding some by SPLOST, some by money that's in the capital outlay fund, and then looking at bonding options as well.
And there's some state funding available at the high
Yes,
school.
we will be getting 1.3 million for the gym and about 250,000 each for the band room and course room.
And I'd just like to say, if y'all was here Friday to see the, what you wanna call it, the plans.
The
but
plans and the renderings.
The renderings, thank you, I knew that word. The renderings, it's gonna be phenomenal to hear, and Nest is gonna be, on the map. All right, any further discussion? Not, Miss Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Do we need an executive session for personnel,
Yes, sir.
personnel only?
Yes, sir.
All right, can I get a motion to go into executive session for personnel?
I make a motion going into executive session first.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Ms. Kathy? Yes. Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. We'll be back. All right, it's 8:30. We're back from executive session. Can I get a motion to come out of executive session?
I make a motion to come out of executive session.
You got a motion? Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Dr. Morgan?
Yes, sir. I would like to ask the board to accept the following resignations. Laura Turner, paraprofessional. Philip Rao, teacher. Stephanie Collins, teacher. Jessica Johns, bus driver.
We've got a superintendent's recommendation. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion to accept the resignations.
A motion, can I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any further discussion? Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
And Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Dr. Morgan?
I would like to ask the board to accept the following retirement resignations. Dr. Andrea Tanner, teacher and work-based learning and youth apprenticeship coordinator. Scott Johnson, teacher. Sherry Edgy, bookkeeper. And Robert Chesser, bus driver.
Got a recommendation from the superintendent. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the retirees of Dr. Andrea Tanner, Scott Johnson, Sherry Edgy, and Robert Chesser.
Okay, got a motion. Can I get a second?
I'll make a second.
Got a second. Any discussion? Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Dr. Morgan?
I would like to make the following recommendations for hire. DJ Johns, maintenance department. April Beckham, bus driver. David Shores, teacher and varsity head football coach. Jacqueline Stone, teacher. Taylor Child, teacher. Shannon Sweeney, half assistant principal and half MTSS coordinator at Waynesville Primary School. Ansley Gibson, counselor at Atkinson Elementary School. Cinnamon Drawdy, paraprofessional. Brittany Jewell, paraprofessional. Grace Ann Gill, teacher. Matthew Dixon, custodian. Taylor Cruz, paraprofessional. Selena Morgan, paraprofessional. Mikhail Rao, paraprofessional. Karina Renfro, teacher. Kim Cruz, teacher. Heather Blunt, paraprofessional. Tanley Hewitt, paraprofessional. Heather Cruz, secretary. Randall Kincaid, custodian.
Okay, then I got you've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the recommendations for hire.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Dr. Morgan?
I'd like to ask the board to approve for hire Caitlin Hendricks, paraprofessional.
For the recommendation, can I get a motion?
I make a motion to accept the recommendation.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Ms. Kathy?
I'll abstain.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Dr. Morgan?
I'd like to recommend Gracie Larcy for hire as a teacher.
Can I get a motion? We've heard the superintendent's recommendation.
I'll make a motion to approve the recommendation for hire.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Abstain.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes.
I'd like to ask the board to approve the following transfers. Jenna Heron Chesser to transfer from Atkinson Elementary School to Nahunta Primary School, and Kayla Nance to transfer from Hoboken Elementary School to Brantley County High School.
We've got a recommendation from the superintendent. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion for the transfers as presented.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Second, any discussion? Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes.
I'd like to ask the board to approve the following athletic addendums. Kayla Nance, varsity head softball coach. Danielle Cohen, varsity cheerleading head coach.
Per the superintendent's recommendation, can I get a motion?
I make a motion to accept the addendums as presented.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes.
I'd like to recommend all certified employees for the 2024-2025 school year as presented.
Before we do, when do you?
That's going to be
We'll
next.
come back to that. I got you. Okay, y'all have heard the superintendent's recommendation. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion to accept the certified teachers as presented for 24-25 school year.
Can I get a second?
I'll second. I'm sorry. Ms. Kathy, go ahead.
Ms. Kathy's got a second. Any discussion? Not, Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes.
I recommend to approve for rehire for next year Dalton Larcy for the 2024-2025 school year.
Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Abstain.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes.
I'd like to recommend for hire for the 2024-2025 school year Melissa Hendricks.
Got the superintendent's recommendation. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
I'll
make a
second.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Thanks.
Ms. Teresa seconds it. Any discussion? Ms. Kathy?
I'll abstain.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes.
I'd like to recommend for rehire the central office administrators and principals for 3-year contracts as presented.
Heard the superintendent's recommendation. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion to accept the recommendation for central office administration and principals for 3-year contracts.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Do we have any discussion? Do we have any smiles? Okay, we got some smiles.
Everybody ready to do it?
Can I get a motion, vote? I got a motion second. Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes.
I recommend for central office personnel and first-year principals hire with 1-year contracts as presented.
Can I get a further recommendation? Can I get a motion?
I make,
I'm sorry.
you take it.
I'll make a motion to accept the superintendent's recommendation.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Teresa seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Mike?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes.
We're done.
We done?
Yes, sir.
A lot of people.
We thank all y'all for being patient with us tonight. Be safe on your ride home. I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Teresa's got the second. Ms. Kathy? Mr. Mike? Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Thank you.